The Oregon Ducks have secured a game-changing quarterback that brings an unmatched level of precision and agility to the Oregon Ducks offense for the upcoming season. But before we dive into it and before we talk about this impactful transfer for the Oregon Ducks, thank you for tuning into the PG Show, where we talk about all things college football. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. This might be your first time over here. If it is, let me know. But if it's not, y'all know the drill. Jump in the comments, join the discussion, and I'm going to give you guys a question here. Is Oregon's offense about to skyrocket? And a highly sought after quarterback that's chosen the Oregon Ducks as his new home. This seems to be a common theme for Oregon now because you got Bo Nix. Bo Nix performed really well for you. Now you're going after another tenured senior quarterback in the transfer portal. So who is that, might you ask? Well, the former UCF and Oklahoma quarterback, Dillon Gabriel. You heard that right. Dillon Gabriel entered the transfer portal after Oklahoma went 10-2, and seemingly it seems like Oklahoma wanted to move to Jackson Arnold during the bowl game. Now, reports had it that Dillon Gabriel was potentially going to look at USC, maybe Mississippi State, where the offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby got the head coaching job. Those were some rumors, but Oregon was, by all reports, was the leading candidate to get Dillon Gabriel services. And you could look at a couple reasons why. I mean, hey, you got Bo Nix exiting the program. Oregon probably wants to get a quarterback in there like Dillon Gabriel who can help their younger guys out, right, mentor them. But also, Dillon Gabriel's NIL possibilities at Oregon are pretty much endless. Not to mention, Oregon has to travel to Hawaii next year to play a football game. And for those of you who are not aware, Dillon Gabriel is from Hawaii. So that game itself probably is going to mean an absolute ton to give to Dillon Gabriel. So Dillon Gabriel brings an unmatched level of precision and agility to the Oregon Ducks offense. In his prior 3 years with UCF, Dillon Gabriel threw for 8,037 yards, 70 touchdowns with only 14 interceptions. In his prior 2-year stint with the Sooners, Gabriel threw for 6,828 yards, 55 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and for his entire career, ran for 1,060 yards, 26 touchdowns, and the Ducks are getting a career 14,865-yard passer, where DG also accounted for 125 total touchdowns through the air. So you look at what Dillon Gabriel is going to be able to bring, assuming that Oregon is going to be able to keep some of the junior wide receivers that they had in this room, like maybe a Tez. I had it pulled up here. A Tez Johnson or a Troy Franklin, if you're able to retain those guys, you feel really good about this offense going in the next year. But regardless, Oregon's wide receiver room has talent up and down the board. You've got guys coming in. I would imagine that Oregon's probably going to turn to the transfer portal, and they're going to look at getting an elite wide receiver, not Juice Wells, but a guy kind of like Juice Wells, if that makes sense. And you guys are going to be seeing some film here of Dillon Gabriel, and you're going to see it specifically around the Texas game. And this is what we called Dillon Gabriel's legacy drive, because he took the Oklahoma Sooners down the field to score and win the game against the Texas Longhorns a year after he was not able to play in this game due to a concussion. So this is the type of player that Oregon is getting, a quarterback that can run a high-tempo offense, a quarterback that is able to utilize his feet to get out of the pocket, create and extend drives, and a quarterback that just – he's been in the positions to be cool, calm, and collected and lead a team. And when you go into the Big Ten and you're playing the Michigans, you're playing the Ohio States and the Penn States, not only that, but you're bringing the Huskies, you're bringing UCLA to this conference, you're bringing USC. Oregon wants to be able to have a quarterback that they know that they can trust, and a quarterback that's going to be able to help them achieve the goals that they have in this new conference. Now, Some might be asking, what does this mean in the recruitment for Dante Moore? In fact, I don't think it takes you out of the recruitment for Dante Moore, because Dante Moore wants to learn behind a quarterback that is experienced. And Dante Moore could probably, after what you saw last season, he could probably benefit a lot from that. So I think Oregon's still going to be in the race for Dante Moore. I still think they're going to push. I believe NIL is going to be a big part of that. And if you get Dante Moore behind Dillon Gabriel for 1 year, you're going to have kind of like a Jackson Arnold situation in Oklahoma. I think it's going to be very beneficial for the young guy. Additionally, you have Austin Novastad from the 2023 class. And then you got Luke Moga. Remember, he is a commitment here in the 2024 class. So Oregon has some exciting quarterbacks in their pocket. You have Ty Thompson, and I guess the question is, does he end up hitting the transfer portal and going somewhere else now that they've taken Dillon Gabriel? I feel like Ty Thompson believes it's his time to shine, and I don't feel like Oregon 100% is behind Ty Thompson. If you're an Oregon fan, maybe you guys can correct me on that, but just from the tweets and things that we've seen Ty Thompson post on social media, it would lead me to believe that he is maybe on his way out to the transfer portal from Oregon. So the Oregon Ducks definitely needed a guy like Dillon Gabriel to come join them in this class. But additionally, Oregon's getting another visit from Walter Nolan this week. And can you imagine the Oregon defense with this Oregon offense that's going to be extremely efficient in the Big Ten if they get Walter Nolan? Like, the Oregon defensive line was already really good. And then you stacked a 5-star in Aiden Breland here in this 2023 recruiting cycle, and you have a chance to go out there and land Walter Nolan. You would imagine that Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks and even Oregon Duck fans, they're going to want to close on Walter Nolan as quickly as possible. And, having this big recruiting weekend where you get Dillon Gabriel and Walter Nolan, and I'm sure they had other guys on campus, that's huge. Because when you have a guy like Dillon Gabriel commit on his visit, right, on the opportunity to go out there, that creates excitement. It creates momentum. And these guys all talk to each other. And you would imagine Dillon Gabriel's probably going to be recruiting Walter Nolan to be the leader, to be the tenured leader on the other side of this team to help try to lead Oregon to a college football playoff berth in 2024, which going to 12 teams, it makes it a little bit easier, but also trying to go for that national championship. So here's the deal. Oregon Duck fans, you need to get ready for an explosive season because Dillon Gabriel ignites the field with electrifying plays. That's what he does. So again, I ask you the question, is Oregon's offense about to skyrocket here in the 2024 football season? Guys, need to hear from you. Make sure you're jumping down in the comments. You're joining the discussion. And if you have not already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. YouTube's going to recommend you guys a couple videos. Make sure you click on those. Help me out. Hit that subscribe button.